Hey, we are Matt Pierce and
I have no idea.
Betsy Weber. And we've got a guest who's here at the last of the insanity.
Right.
I think there was video of us laughing.
I think so. But we wanted to go out with a bang.
That's right.
We have one of my most favorite people in the world. Andy Walker is our guest.
Hello.
Hey, Andy.
You're looking a little punch drunk there, the two of you.
I
Yeah,
am.
a little.
I've got the big spork out in case Matt nods off. I'm going to keep him awake. But anyway, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody about you?
Sure. My name is Andy Walker, and I won Nanny of the Year last year for my work with children. No.
He's gonna just set us off, Betsy.
Right.
No, I am I don't know, what am I? I'm a tech expert, I guess. Former co-host of Call for Help on G4 Tech TV. The last, actually 10 years ago now, actually, and innovator in podcasting. I'm an author of 5 books. My new book's called Super You: How Technology is Changing What It Means to Be Human. That'll be out in the fall of this year with Pearson. And I'm a new dad. Hey!
Woo, congratulations.
Thank you. You'll see my son. My partner Kay will be down shortly with him. So we'll interrupt just before. In the middle of this probably snaggy craziness. What are we going to talk about? So.
Have you gotten him screencasting yet?
And I have a screencast.
Have you gotten Carter screencasting yet?
No, not yet. But I have been using Snagit and the tools to kind of start to integrate the unveiling of the baby, because when Kay was pregnant,
That's true.
I had on my Facebook banner, I had a shot of like an arrow pointing to her belly saying Andy Walker Jr. coming soon, kind of thing.
Yeah, that was a great way to announce him coming. Yeah.
It was fun. It's fun, So I mean, we've been talking about introducing him to all the world of tech. He's going to be my own Andy Walker Jr. He's going to be my own little geek and that kind of thing. So the world of snagging Camtasia and all of that stuff and all the cool techie tools will be part of his life from day one. Oh, there she is. Where are you? Come on in. Yeah, this is Kay.
Hi, Kay.
Hi, Kay.
And this is Carter.
Aw, Carter's our youngest guest today.
Yeah, Carter is our youngest guest today.
So cute. How old's Carter?
He's 2 weeks tomorrow.
2 weeks. Wow.
So he's not quite ready for screencast.
No, not yet. Maybe in a week.
I'll take him. So I'm going to hold him. And then hopefully, here we go.
So Andy, you are very comfortable on camera. You are very relaxed, and you are a very interesting presenter. How did you get to that point?
A lot of it's just practice, but the thing about being on camera is getting over your nerves, right? So that is sort of the biggest stumbling block for any beginner. And then once you get over the fact that the camera's not a big deal, it's just another person watching you. It may happen to be 50,000 people watching you, but it's just another eye. And so if you start to relate to it like it's just that, it's just a person, and you can kind of put yourself into the same mode, when you're like in the elevator in the morning and you're going up and a bunch of people and you're like, hi, how are you? You relate to it like it's your friend. And after that, you just can be yourself. Now, what's really important is that you are not necessarily just yourself, because just yourself is kind of boring on every day. I mean, you see somebody standing on the sidewalk, and they're hanging out, and most people don't look like they're particularly happy, right?
That's true.
In their natural state,
right?
But the thing is you kind of have to be an amped up version of yourself, right, to be interesting on camera. So if you guys were sitting in my kitchen right now, you would have the experience of me going, hey guys, how are you? It's a bit weird in person without a camera. So you take your own volume and you ratchet it up a bit.
Right.
You are on, and then you're engaged. So it's all about eye contact with the camera. If you're in a room with a bunch of different people, I'm looking at you guys. Actually, I'm looking at my lens. But if somebody was here, then I'd be referring to them. It's just a conversation, though. It's really important. Yeah, there you go. Just like that. So that's most of the trick to it. Beyond that, it's being prepared. I mean, if I'm going, I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about next, I'm going to seem not very confident and difficult to follow. So sometimes you just have to be ready with your material, and if you know it cold, then you can just focus on delivering it and being great and having a good time, because half of camera presence is about having fun.
Right.
That sort of thing.
So Andy, I have a question, because I think part of the camera presence is not only the way you just described, but there's a real fear that we deal with when people will make videos and say, I hate the sound of my voice.
Yeah.
And so it's not just the way that they look, or it's the way they sound. And any tips on how to help people to overcome that natural? Like, I don't know if anyone really likes the sound of their voice when they hear it played back, but anything they can do?
I'll tell you. I mean, a couple of things. So first of all, how you sound to outsiders is not how you sound in your head. So because your voice vibrates through your bones and that sort of thing. So what you think you sound like and what you actually sound like is two different things.
Right.
Right. So that's just a natural state. There's nothing you can do about that. You know, the other thing about it is that you eventually going to get over it. I mean, I did 140 episodes of Call for Help, and I think I never actually watched an entire episode from beginning to end.
Wow.
Because I don't like seeing myself on camera, you know. Really, I mean, honestly. And then we did, with Sean Carruthers, and we did the Lab Rats, which is a video podcast we did for years. I might have seen a couple of those all the way through, or slightly on fast forward. So you never really get over it. You know, you get to understand and like what you are, how you are. You can perfect your performance by reviewing the tape, as it were. But nobody really ever gets over it. You get to tolerate it eventually. Like, I'll play this back later on and I'll go, oh, whoa, I suck today. Right? But what sucks to you and what sucks to other people is there's a great big chasm between the two things. And for the most part, people are not looking at your eyebrow or the sticky up hair or the kind of twitch that you have or the crying baby in your, you know, they're thinking about what you're saying, right? So it's actually mostly about the content. You could be the ugliest, weirdest, dorkiest person on the planet, but if you're saying something interesting, people will think, wow, you did a really good job. You know, it just doesn't matter, right? That's kind of the core piece of it, and a little bit of psychology, getting used to yourself.
We were correcting Andy's statement. I've never seen him make a sucky video. It's just not possible. And we were talking about how he's an early pioneer, and I met you because you were making videos that were really high quality using Camtasia with the Lab Rats. So do you have any advice? There's a lot of people who want to do, you know, screencasts and they just can't seem to get started. How did you get started doing the Lab Rats?
We had three different kinds of cameras. We had lights from a hardware store. We had my ugly brown couch in my apartment. I mean, so you know, it was an inauspicious start.
Right.
But what we did do, we went in with a plan and with our content. So focused content. You know, we did what I learned on Call for Help, which is planned ad lib. So planned ad lib is, you know, be natural, your natural self, but have a plan to deliver your content. Because nothing worse than people wandering off down a rabbit hole. And as I said, it's all about the content. Right. So if you could say, I would, you know, we would literally have a whiteboard and say, okay, we're going to start off here with the intro, and then we're going to go through this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, and then we're going to wrap it up. And we knew exactly where we were going, and we kind of innovate. So it'd be like, okay, today we're talking about computer viruses. What's computer virus? Blah blah blah. Okay, well, why is computer virus a problem? And we go, and we get, in the end, we'd like, what should you do if you get infected? Oh, thanks a lot. See you later. But now you had 10, 15 minutes of content. Hello, making noise. 10 minutes of content, 15 minutes of focused content, so people could follow along. And whether, you know, the shot looked good, or the couch was dirty, or the lights were kind of off, or the color balance was weird between takes, it didn't matter because people wanted to see the content.
Right.
And I would always say the number one thing is sound.
Right.
You know, if you can hear the person, the picture's bad, people will actually engage with the content. If the sound is awful and the picture's great, they will turn you off.
That's true. But what you also did really well is you were taking a complicated subject, tech, and you were explaining it in a way that everybody could understand. I remember you doing several food demos with an aubergine, eggplant to the Americans, and didn't you cut slices out of it and pull holes, and there were eggs and
So I mean, basically taking everyday objects, you know, and turning them into something that was a metaphor for something complex. So we would use those white mints as packets, and throw them at shields. That was a antivirus defense or whatever. And we'd use cheese and carved a channel and put tomato sauce to show how a transistor works and that sort of thing. So, and again, so the content was there, right? It was entertaining. And then the other thing, of course, is with video, yes, why would you put a picture on something if audio would suffice? Well, there's got to be something interesting to see. So sure, a couple of guys, a couple of folks dancing around, that's interesting. But show something, Today I'm going to show you a banana, right?
Right.
Not, if I said today I'm going to show you a banana, it's audio only. Okay, I got it. I can visualize a banana. But to see a banana is a big deal because it connects, it actually doubles up the information. You're hearing it and you're seeing it. So it actually sticks better, right? That kind of thing. So there's some little sort of psychological tricks on how we perceive information and how we communicate and how we learn that where video if you're reinforcing what you're saying with visual cues, then information sticks as well. And the other thing, of course, is make people laugh. Now, some people say, well, I'm not funny. Well, you don't have to be funny, but you have to be willing to be funny. And funny and entertaining is about taking risks. And I have to tell you, I've had my share of on-camera bombs where I've said something that I thought was funny, and I either got booed or it just landed flat.
Right. Yeah, but you do take risks. I remember you jumping in a pond at a hotel, in your shoes, up to your knees, in your dress pants.
Hands off and running to the lobby with my door. Yeah.
Right. I believe Sean got maybe eggs or something like that on him several times.
Yeah.
But you were very always unexpected, and your visual communication was always very high.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing as well. Yeah, you have to take risks. Really take risks. Be willing to be funny. People say, how do I be funny, Andy? And I just say, there are thoughts that occur that we filter. It doesn't come out of our mouth. Right?
All the time.
Sometimes
right
that's a good
now.
thing. But if you can take a risk and take the filter away, you can insult people sometimes. You're going to make stupid comments. But, eventually you're going to learn what is funny and you'll hit a note. And there's nothing better than having a room full of people laugh at you or with you, because you said something awesome, right? And that is just a muscle you have to build, right? So I'm willing to be, look like an idiot, and I have no, I don't know, maybe I have no dignity. I don't know what it is, but for me, that is when you get a laugh, it's worth 10 times the 100 bombs you've had before that. So to take risks and bring interesting information, to bring comedy to everyday information.
Now, Andy, I know you said that you haven't really watched yourself with all the shows that you've done, all the things that you've done, but how important is getting feedback? I mean, obviously, like if you tell a joke or say something funny and no one laughs, that's a source of feedback, but I mean, it's because sometimes I think it's hard to correct bad habits, and we all have them. We all have bad things that we do with our hands or, tics that we do, and you might not realize it until you either see it or someone points it out. Do you feel like feedback from others helps play a role in getting better and to have a good presence?
Yeah, I mean, certainly ask other people much more objective than you. So if you say, I say too much, and you think you do, so ask somebody, do I? Right? That we all have kind of these cheat words. Awesome at the end of a sentence, Hey, everybody had, and so that's okay as long as it's not, you don't prop up your communication with them. So check in with other people. You should look at your tapes if you can. It's going to take a while, and I did, but as I said, I never watched everything all the way through. But if something wasn't working, I go back and have a look and try to correct from that perspective. Audience reaction is good. Good and bad. Some people are going to love you. Some people are going to hate you. If you have equal amounts of both, you're doing a good job, And, sometimes you're going to suck. That's just the reality of the situation. And people will tell you that. But, it's just an opportunity to improve. So if I'm constantly turning my back to the camera or whatever, and people say, hey, Andy, we want to see, okay, well, let me see if I can work on my camera presence and center myself a bit more on the camera, right? Feedback is invaluable. So, and some people have a hard time because it occurs like it's criticism, and they have a hard time with being, feeling bad about themselves or whatever. It's just an opportunity to improve, that's all. So I always, look at it that way. So yeah, absolutely. Poll people around you, ask people, ask for people that do it well. Ask your mom. Your mom will always tell you you're awesome, but
You need the build up too, right? You can't just be all like, well, you're not very good, Matt, you know, whatever.
You need a 10, your sweaters are crappy, and you say, I'm too much, you know, okay, well, there's 5 things. But what am I doing? Ask me what you're doing great as well, because you should need to amplify those things too, right?
Absolutely.
That's also important.
Absolutely. Should we wrap up the video and stay for some questions? So,
sounds good.
Andy, I think we're going to probably have some questions for you from our social chat, and so just hang on. But we want to wrap the video up. So this is the last video. No more recordings.
Right.
We made it.
49.
49 because we had an extra one in there.
Bonus.
All right. Virtual high five.
Yeah. Tiny high five.
Tiny. So we're gonna cut the video, but we're gonna stick around because we're gonna ask some questions of Andy. And if you guys got questions, let Caitlin know in the chat. So hang on. We'll be right back in a second.